Hey, greetings, brothers and sisters. Welcome to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. Sunday afternoon, some inspired conversations and discussions, important topics again tonight. Boy, I just looked at my hair. I should have checked that before I started. Anyway, good evening, brothers and sisters. I did just pin the link for those who do want to join the conversations. Tonight, I want to discuss an important topic that ties into what we brought up last night. For those who may have missed last night's stream, the purpose was leadership. Tonight, to tie right into leadership, we want to discuss some accountability. What does that mean to be accountable? It's something that, our society, well, I've said it before. Excuses and blame have been the downfall of humanity. Excuses and blame are paying for wars and oppression right now. So, brothers and sisters, I'd like to discuss the topic of accountability so maybe we can move past excuses and blame and create some actual change in our world. Because that is the goal. That is my purpose, why I'm sharing time here on the online metaverse. And so as we start today, I'll just share it in advance. I'm feeling this may not be a real long marathon stream tonight. So if a panel develops, unless it's really enlightening and powerful conversations, we'll probably wrap it up a little early. Allow myself some accountability for some of the past conversations that have evolved here. So this morning, I started out, went to church, and an inspiring morning again, but it's my life. I go places and it's like nobody sees me, pretty much unnoticed. Maybe that's you. I don't try and stand out, though. I just go and enjoy the moments. But this morning we had an amazing guest pastor today, Chad Gonzalez, if I remember correctly. He's a friend of the local guy, and he travels with his own ministry, but his path is on healing, and he shared some testimonies of just some miracles that have experienced. And this morning, I may have witnessed a miracle in healing. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm convinced, and I'm not sure if I understand. I have no question about the authenticity. There was a drastic change in this woman today. In this scenario, and again, this man, apparently that's one of his gifts, is that he has been able to witness and experience healing. So he ventured forward with confidence and shared some prayers with a couple of different people who were in attendance. But this one lady, she's older than me, and she was kind of hunched over on one of those walker canes, the cane with the stool at the bottom. And she didn't look comfortable, as I understand. Been dealing with MS, but there was prayers and a very obvious shift in her presentation. I mean, it was almost like it seemed very realistic. Now, if that change carries on, I don't know. I hope to learn that, holy cows, there was like a miraculous transformation. But this was the first time I've gotten to be a witness to something like that. And here I am. I'm a man of faith. I'm constantly sharing what I profess and I claim as, my faith in God. But admittedly, the stories of miracles for myself, they're just mostly secondhand, or videos and stuff like that. But the the sermon today, though, the message was about that relationship between us as a being and the being, the Christ, the divinity of the Christ, that power, that consciousness, that immoral archetype and personality that sits at the right hand of God on the behalf of the intermediary, I guess, maybe between mankind and the Father. I mean, if you can imagine that, it makes sense. And the sermon today was, it was powerful. He brought up a lot of the things, people talk about their faith, claim to have done their baptism, but they're still living in fear, still living with the ways of the world. It's easy to get plugged in with the news and the media and the newest fad and the newest gossip. It's really easy to get caught up in the ways of the world. But here's where my own weakness. I've been inviting people who have strong knowledge in the scripture, and I don't have it memorized, and I haven't done the homework to prepare for it. But as I understand the Bible, though, that was the message that Jesus was sharing, is that as he was in the Father, as the Father was in him, he would be with us. As he died, we are, or as he was, we are. He died so that we may. And for those who want to profess to be Christians, those who want to claim to be followers of the Christ, well, you better start making sure your actions fit the words, man. Hypocrites and enablers, man. That's what this world is full of. Excuses and blame. So, before guests kind of show up today, let's jump into some of the things that were prepared. Let's see if I can figure this out. The accountability rests with me. Really, when you assume accountability, when you assume responsibility, you become the leader of you. Because if you're going to deny accountability, if you're going to deny responsibility, then you're abdicating your rights, your leadership, your free will. I didn't really say hi to the folks in chat, but Venus Cupcake, welcome. Much love. And Jessica Jane stopped by, 6079 Smith W. The Pink, I saw Moose. Ginger Jimmy Jr., welcome. So accountability, it is an important part of life, but why it matters. It's hard to read that. It says, be stronger than your excuses. And of course, that's what I'm constantly sharing, is move past your excuses. Let's see, Black's Law, definition of accountability. When one party must report its activities and take responsibility for them, it is done to keep them honest and responsible. So accountability is a report of activities, and it's the activity of accepting responsibility for them. And then within accountability for Black's Law, they break it down into social accountability, public accountability, some other methods. And then Google, the fact or condition of being accountable tied to responsibility. As an example, lack of accountability corroded public respect. So accountability, responsibility go together. Back to common definitions of accountable: of a person, organization, or institution, required or expected to justify actions or decisions. And then explicable or understandable. So accountability, I thought I had my own definitions in here, but I haven't. Accountability, now responsibility, the state or fact of having a duty to deal with something or of having control over someone. So if you've got a duty or a control, that is your responsibility, your property, your behavior, your words, your thoughts. Those are in your control. Those are within your duty. They are your responsibility. And so the state or fact of being accountable or to blame for something. So again, back to the responsibility. Accountability means living in integrity when your thoughts, words, and actions consistent with one another in alignment with facts. Commitment is one thing, but accountability is vital to overcoming the inner critic and to progress with self-development. So I think, how many more? Remember to be accountable. Our success is a result of what we do. Yeah, let me go back to me. The point about being accountable is it's in the words. It's an accounting, right? It is a bringing into the consideration the different facts and the different factors. So in the process of determining accountability, who is responsible for what is the factor that caused either the success or the problem. We live in a society where the glory of positions is declared, right? I'm the boss, I'm the president, I'm the whatever. That glory is assumed, but when it comes to responsibility or accountability, this nation, this society has done a very poor job in, when you review the facts. What we have is a system of blame, and in a system of, we have a system of punishments and rewards. And in a system of punishments and rewards, well, those get judged by authority, not necessarily by the facts. And so in this system where authority gets to determine what is true, we have insanity. There is no accountability because authority wants to blame. They don't want to sacrifice and lose their benefits, their privilege, their power. So we've got these people throughout our society and governments and business, and maybe even in families, right, that have taken this position of boss or ruler, leader. And it's failing. I see the state of the world and it saddens me. And I'm a pretty cheerful guy. I'm a pretty grateful man who's confused. I'm confused about the state of the world and why it is that it's been continuing. Not only in the greater collective of what I'm seeing on the news and the politics, the economics, how is it that this is continuing and we are not uniting? How is it that, I don't know. How is it in my own life? This is what I don't understand as well. Is brothers and sisters, those who have recognized and see a little spark and potential in what you hear from here. For those of you who do see this, I am perplexed. I'm quite confused. Personally, I think ending wars, ending slavery, sounds a little grandiose and maybe ridiculous, but if you stop and think about it, what's the alternative? We continue paying for wars. We continue abdicating our time, energy for the oppression and censorship of each other. What the fuck are we doing? Excuse my language, but frankly, I find, I don't know. I mean, praise God. I am so filled with hope, so filled with love. I am so convinced that there is a creator God, the one of the architect and, the one that reveals the universe. Pretty confident that God, that creator, loves us. And I've been trying to share this, right? In my clumsy, imperfect way. I've been trying to share that, you know what, guys? I'm pretty sure. I mean, I can point to all the evidence that I've found, and I can tell you why I feel the way that I do, but I've accepted accountability for what is true, for what I accept to be true and what I believe to be true. And I accept full accountability, full responsibility for my choices. And you know why? Because I think God rewards those who love the truth. And so it's said, for those who don't love the truth, God will allow delusions to be set upon. And I'm misquoting, I'm sure, but just simple logic. If you want to reject what is true, okay, I could bring up examples from my past. Here, I'll go with one of my most foolish early beliefs. I used to believe the color of my skin made me better than others, right? That there was something wrong with those of brown and darker complexities than mine. I didn't really know why I thought that. It's just, it seemed to be pretty general consensus around where I was at. So in my mind, I had the belief that Black people were dangerous, particularly the men. They were dangerous, not to be trusted. They were all just criminals, and they were criminals because they didn't care about education. Yeah, I was programmed. I was. I've admitted my sins and my past foolishness, but yeah, there was a time where I used to deny myself from the truth. I used to place myself above the truth of, what was similar between myself and my brothers and sisters from other ancestry. I used to put myself above what was true, saying, well, this is what I know. And I know those people can't be trusted. You got to lock your stuff up. Eventually, I came to my senses and humbled myself to the truth that to be accountable, I had to admit I was wrong. And when I admitted I was wrong, well, then I got to open my mind and start learning how much I didn't know. And, there's nothing racist in me anymore. I see us all, we're all just divine sparks. We're essentially just chemicals and electrical signals being perceived and transmitted. So some people's electrical signals, the thought patterns in their heads, they get like a little static, a lot of disruption, and just doesn't make any sense. Those are the people I call confused. The confused people who like to deny the truth, like to push themselves away from the truth. Those people, well, they've not yet learned the benefit of becoming accountable, of becoming responsible, of becoming one with that which is true. Because that which is true, that will save us. It'll save us from our confusion. That which is true will save us from our guilt, save us from our resentment, save us from our hate. But you got to go far enough to find out that which is true. And so, how do you know that which is true when you're focused on an individual person, an individual event, or an individual thing? How do you know enough? Right? Because we live in this paradox, this existence and experience that you and I are sharing, this life where air, breath, water and food is turned into energy. Yeah, still works. So this life thing that we do together is pretty magical. It's where within space, form and time can be observed and perceived and experienced. So we're here within this duality of space and time, sharing an experience of consciousness with the all and each other. And so in this realm of duality, in this reality we are sharing between birth and death, during this time, what pushes us away from reality, what keeps us, our spirit, our mind away from reality, is blame and excuses. Blame and excuses, they distort what is real. It starts to shift responsibility, shift accountability. It overlooks some facts, some factors in order to avoid whatever punishment or in order to seek reward. Blame and excuses distort reality. Reality is that which is true. Okay? That which is true is real. That which is real is what is true. In reality, it reveals both the light and the dark. It reveals both the good and the evil. Reality reveals, and it's through the contrast of the light and the dark, the good and the evil, the masculine, feminine, positive, negative. Between these contrasts, perfection is. And the creator I serve, the creator I believe I know, is perfection. And my mind has never realized perfection yet. I'm only trying to imagine it because I believe once I can imagine perfection, maybe I can believe in perfection. And if I can believe in perfection, maybe I can achieve perfection. I don't know. This is God's game, man, and I'm just grateful to play. Because I really do think God probably has a divine sense of humor. I mean, why not? Humor and fun is everywhere. It's in nature. Yeah, you get past the lion chewing on the zebra's throat. You get past that stuff. The murder and holy cows. Nature is violent. But man, nature there's humor, there's fun. There is a spontaneity and a levity that's included with life. And those come from love. I mean, and that's back to my mind, my image of the creator. It's this divine intelligence. It's just unfathomable, really. The intelligence in order to create frequencies and light and the order in this perfection so that life and decay happens. Holy crap. So there's a divine intelligence that's just beyond comprehension. And then, with that intelligence, you see the gift and the creativity, the novelty that's expressed through nature. Like divine creativity, divine power, just ultimate glory. And I believe all those things are evidence of love. All of this, all the knowledge humans have learned collectively and individually, everything we've learned and known from earth, the stars, sun, whatever. All of this stuff we've learned is by the grace, by the grace of God. I used to make fun of Christians. I used to make fun of particularly the Christians that would just go and sing. I thought, if you were going to worship a God, maybe it should be like real strict and real reverent. Not like I ever attended the services, but I attended a real one or two really long and boring Catholic masses when I was young. And I thought maybe that was the appropriate way. You're going to take God seriously. You got to, well, because that's what I was being taught in the home. Now that I think about it, you got to respect authority. You better respect that authority or there'll be punishment, boy. My parents didn't sound like that. But I know plenty of people who do. But I used to make fun of the Christians because I thought they were foolish, believing in something they couldn't prove, some magical fairy tale. The supposed miracles. Yeah, great. Miracles happen to someone else. Who cares? Doesn't help me. The more I have been focused on developing my own personal relationship with God, with love, with the truth, and with the idea, the thought, the light and bliss, the energies of purity, the hope of peace, as I've consciously pursued that for myself, I tell you what, the fact that we don't praise God every day blows my mind. The fact that has been so challenging for me to invite people. Hey guys, come and share some time with me so we can talk about God and some pretty cool ideas. Hasn't happened. I mean, people come and they talk. But it hasn't really happened the way that I've imagined. But see, that's where I'm at as well. Just praise God. I know there's something happening through me, with me. And if you are here in this time with me, you are part of me from my perspective, because it is we that is revealing me and you together. There's no separation between any of us. But if I'm right, eventually the periods of rejection and isolation will come to an end. And I have been receiving encouragement and support from some folks in the beyond just my immediate area. Hey, Aaron, thank you. We are one. Affirming the universal connection. And I mean, it's the humbling truth. And so when we talk about these things, we are one. What does that mean? So what do we do? It's actually kind of where I was going earlier when I was bringing up the spiritual baptism, and some of the things that were talked about at the sermon today is, if we want to commit ourselves to a new way, this is what I did. I mean, I didn't do it in this simplicity, but this is what I did. And I encourage you guys, those who may not have, there's something. I did humble myself and turn myself to the name, the image, that archetype of a man, Jesus. Later learned the name is, or maybe Yeshua, or maybe even different than that. I don't know. All I know is that God is. And I think that is the most important message of the Bible. God is. It's not the book we worship. It's not the man we worship. It is God that is. And see, this was the message of the sermon today, too, with the healing powers, is that you seriously allow yourself to become united with the Christ. Our brother Aaron calls it the marriage, the unification of the Spirit. Move beyond the physical being that you see in the mirror, beyond the title, the job title, beyond the sickness or diagnosis. Look beyond that to recognize that the Spirit is, because our spirit is the image of our Creator is beyond the physical. And so if we want to worship God, we do it in the Spirit and in the truth, through our emotions, through our appreciation, through our gratitude, through our respect, through our commitment, our repentance. If you can allow yourself to become united with the Christ, that was the message he shared, is that you're uprooted from the ways of the world, right? You detach yourself from what was. And then you're grafted to the vine. And then the vine is the Christ. And you become one with the vine of good, with the strength of the creation, the power of love, the power of forgiveness, the power of healing. So through that unification, through that pursuit, we can choose to allow the image of me that is the Jack that used to be, or whoever your name is, your version of you, allow that image to die, to just go away with the world. I'm starting anew. I'm starting afresh. I will become one, and I will sin no more. And that's the purpose of the Christ, man. You rebirth, you commit yourself to becoming new, becoming the pure, becoming the Christed, to allow yourself to grow into the perfection that is within you. And so what really moved me today, though, was, I've been trying to really incorporate these thoughts, not just into my mind, but into my inner knowing, right? Through meditation, contemplation, reflection. I spent a lot of time trying to bring these thoughts in. And so I spend time each day trying to turn my will over to that of God, so that my mind is kept pure thoughts, loving thoughts. I ask that my heart be guided, that I capture the awareness and understand the guiding tugs at my heart that maybe the Christ might want me to follow. So each day I put myself to pay attention, to focus my inner being, to follow the image of the Christ that's within me. The message of today, though, was the distinction for me. I've always pictured in this configuration I'm trying to describe, it's the image of Christ here on earth as the man and powerful, the mystic, the divine. He's in heaven. He's in the heaven at the right hand of God. So if Christ is with me, he's even beyond that, what I've been thinking of. So in my mind, I've been limiting, potentially, maybe I've been creating these blocks. I don't know. Since I found myself on this path, trying to understand my mind, my heart, I feel like I understand you and others a little better. I mean, the truth is what determines what's true. Feelings really don't matter. Opinions sure as hell don't matter, but facts are the facts. And if I'm right, if I'm right, then what I'm suggesting has value. And if you can consider my words with value as though it's simply a reminder. I mean, all I am is you. You're a version of me. I'm a version of you. We just learn different things to come to today so that we could learn and share with each other. And all I'm trying to do is encourage people, the way of Jesus, the way of the Christ. I'm not saying, wrap yourself into a church. I'm not saying go worship a book. I'm saying, you know what? That example that within you, that pure consciousness that is within you that maybe you want to ignore sometimes, or maybe you want to talk over, that pure consciousness that's within you, the pulls on your heartstring that tells you don't want to forgive, you don't want to forget, you don't want to move past, you don't want to. Yes, you do. I'm telling you, you do want to get over the past. I'm telling you, you can get over the past. I'm offering you my help and my encouragement. I'll do my damnedest to help you. Should that be something you want? But I want this entire world. To move forward from the past, to stop fighting, to repeat the chaos and the disagreements and the oppression and the same mistakes of the past. I mean, literally, brothers and sisters, for those who know the Bible, nothing has changed. Over 2,000 years, the revolutionary, that's what Jesus was. He was a revolutionary gifted to mankind, through us, through mankind, for mankind, from God. God gave us a revolutionary standing, bringing messages for us to move past the police state, the bankers' corruption, and the religious divisions. Politics, economics, and religions are the ways of the world. I encourage you to move past the ways of the world, to connect to the other divine being that there's a divine being within you. And when you start recognizing that, when you start recognizing the light that is within you, it becomes so much easier to see the light within others. And as you see the light within others and yourself, well, then you'll also be able to notice the places where the light might be diminished. Where you're holding yourself back, maybe where others are you can see others holding themselves back, or maybe repeating damaging behaviors, patterns. When you start identifying your light, seeing the light in others, when lights combine, man, it strengthens, it grows. Humans are magical, amazing, mystical creatures. Give yourself a chance. Get to know yourself. Get to know others. Because really, brothers and sisters, this is our life. I'm feeling like this might be a great short stream. I think I may wrap it up. I didn't really give the chat much attention. And here I am, I'm just talking and thinking out loud. So, brothers and sisters, accountability. Please, I encourage you. I've talked about this before too, doing super accountability, super acceptance. Go through, take an inventory of your life, your finances, your health, your relationship, your your fulfillment. How fulfilled are you in your life? What are you moving forward with? Take an inventory and an assessment. You know, be hard on yourself with the purpose of simply knowing, right? Moving past excuses, moving past blame. Say, all right, here's my plus, here's my minus. These are where we can move. You start putting things out, you know, getting an order in front of you, pen to paper, so they say. Start taking accountability for what is in your life. Take accountability for what you can control. Recognize what you cannot and accept accountability for that. Let yourself go. Let it go free. When we become honest about the facts and the factors, we can take an honest and objective accountability. Through an honest and objective accountability, we can properly assign responsibility. And through responsibility, that's where the lessons and the rewards can be distributed. I mean, I see a future where we get past this hierarchy nonsense of authority, job titles and positions, and we get past this crap and we start treating each other like equals. And then within the corporations, within the business, within the larger scope of communities, people can receive what is fair and share what they can. Share all you can, man. And if we all started sharing the abundance, sharing the extras that we could generate, if we start sharing talents, creativity, time, energy, attention, care, love, if we start sharing the good things with each other, we're not greedy. We just receive that which we need, you know, that which keeps us going and keeps us happy. Man, brothers and sisters, I know we can change this world. So with that, I want to wish you well and thank everyone for joining in again tonight. Please do the subscribe thing, share with those who you think might appreciate this sort of topics, and stick around, return another time. Till next time, brothers and sisters, choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear.